when you move out from the forces, I sometimes say you're typecast or you're looked at by the corporate world as, get into ops or logistics or sometimes HR and, security, of course, as a long tail. So that's typically the way that you're looked at. But I think a couple of things. So the army actually, or the forces actually groom you for anything in the world. Right. And at that early age, because some of the ingredients, and we can talk about it, whether it's discipline or team building or what have you. So I think we are ingrained with all of that. So for me personally, it was very clear always that, like I said, I needed to be at the cutting edge of whatever's happening, be at the front end. I am a risk taker. I have been a high risk taker all my life. And I always believe that higher the risk, higher the return. So for me, it was very clear that, I would like to, maybe it's the way I'm built, maybe it's the way I'm wired, but I would like to be at the cutting edge where I can define and to me, that was sales in the initial years. And then, like I said, running top line, bottom lines, defining the shareholder value for a company. So what worked, if I was to look back, I think it was the basic ingredients that we grew up on, right? Which is people. So I define all success to people, numbers, business, top line, bottom line, green lines now, and I'll talk about it from SAP, all follow. So if you can get the people equation right, I think whether it's then outside, externally, customers, whether it's internal teams, whether it's peers across, whether it's matrix organizations where you don't have hard line reporting, you have dotted line reporting, but if you can get the people equation right, and I don't use words like network and relationships, I call it people equation. If you can get into the other person's world, whether it's internal, external, I think that's when the magic starts to happen. So that's been a defining mantra for me, whether it was in the army, whether it was outside. And look, I know it sounds good. I can give you a lot of high-sounding words and leadership principles and how it works. But in essence, to me, it's always boiled down on people. Business follows. So if you can gain trust, whether it's with your men in the army, whether you're in Kashmir, whether you're out on a mission or a patrol, whether you're in a boardroom, if you can build trust with people through genuineness, through authenticity, I think everything else follows. And I'm sorry if it's sounding simpler than it is, but that's been the mantra very simply, and I think that's what's worked for me.